Good afternoon. This is my assignment having to do with meditation. The first thing that I can remember about meditation in my life is, and I don't know where I learned how to do it because back then there were no videos, there was no nothing. But I went, I used to try to go into my closet when I was a teen and meditate, and I caught a lot of teasing from my family for that because none of them really understood anything about meditation. And I was just really trying to experiment with something new. So it wasn't a very successful thing, and I was not really supported in doing it. Um, but then when I went to live in France, I learned the technique taught by Guru Maharaji. Um, And an important part of doing that kind of meditation was actually doing it in community with other people. And that is what supports your practice, is when you meditate with other people, one way to support your practice. So there was a special technique and they called it knowledge. And I continued to do it when I came home and met with community, but eventually, when I got busy with going back to school and everything, it kind of fell away. But I still had that technique to refer back to and to meditate. And so it was really just the technique. It was no other teaching along with it, at least at the level that I was at. After that, I found a place to attend Dharma talks with Zen teachers. These were Americans. They gave a Dharma talk, and we also meditated together. And most of them were American scientists, interestingly. They appreciated being present in the moment, and they talked at depth about that experience. But some of their talks were very difficult for me to understand at the time. Probably now I would understand better because I have more experience with meditation now than I did then. The other thing about it was I wanted to discuss it. I didn't want to just listen to a lecture. So that format really was not ideal for me as a learner. Years ago, I also attended a week-long retreat at Star Island, and that was a very beautiful island. I think I went in July or August, and we meditated all morning. We had a break for lunch. We meditated all afternoon. We came back after dinner and meditated again. Let's see. Our meals were silent, and then some meals were, you would put a silence sign on your table if you wanted to stay in silence. But you also could talk at some meals. I remember every morning somebody brought fresh flowers to the room, to the front of the room, and I remember being taught to ignore all of the sounds around us, which was like the ocean, people walking by outside the open windows, various activities going on, around the area. And also, there was a tea ritual with that, which was lovely. They tried to teach us not to move at all during the meditation, to just let the sensation that you need to scratch yourself or move or change or shift your weight, to see if you could just continue sitting and allow it to pass. And I did do that, but I didn't find it enlightening. It was just sort of an endurance test. Maybe there's something beyond that, but that's about all I got out of that piece of it. Later, I attended the One Buddhist Temple, which I talked about in class in my town, Abington, Pennsylvania. and attended their weekly meditations for a time. But I also fell away from that because I didn't really, it's Korean and there were a lot of Korean people there, and I didn't really feel a part of the culture. There was also a lot of, of course, Asian influences in the room and all of that. And so still, I went to a New Year's Eve retreat with Chenrezig Tibetan Buddhists 1 year. And they talked about, even though Zen Buddhism isn't supposed to have deities or anything, there was some of that in these talks. And I found it interesting, but it didn't really resonate with me for my spirituality. It was beautiful and it was moving, though. I've always been able to draw something from every experience with meditation. My next stop was the Penn Program for Mindfulness. It's a secular scientific mindfulness practice, which seemed to serve me best. I appreciated the variety of ways we meditated, like sitting meditation, walking meditation, loving kindness meditation, etc. So I have practiced meditation in a variety of contexts, but the most distilled version is the one that fits me best. Although walking meditation is difficult for me physically because of my balance issues, but I understand the prayerful, or let's say just humble stillness of walking with your eyes looking down at the ground and just noticing your movement and noticing the sounds around you, but continuing to walk and meditate. So the world was going by very slowly, and it made me more aware of how you can carry this attitude in your everyday life. And that is the most helpful thing of all. That's all for me today. Thank you very much.